fast forward, when I found out that I was pregnant, I was petrified. Whilst we are so happy to have our little person, baby Zach, this baby wasn't like really planned. Happy surprise. We had discussed potentially having a family, but it was not something that we had literally planned to do, like let's have a baby. We did discuss going down the IVF route, checking our fertility, because I am 41, almost 42. At the time we met, I was 40/41. My partner is also around the same age as me. I'm not going to reveal his age on camera. Just around the time we were talking about it, it already happened. Once I had registered with the hospital, I had my first antenatal appointment. In the UK, your first antenatal appointment, they ask you all kinds of questions about your family history, your genetics, any history of like mental health issues, postnatal depression, and they ask you about yourself and your partner. So obviously, when it came to the point where we were talking about genetic issues, we started discussing it, and I just said to the midwife that I'm really scared about my baby, and I broke down in tears, and I was really scared. And she was really kind to me, and she said, it's okay, we can make an appointment with the genetic counsellor for you and your partner and have a chat with her about testing and your options going forward, what can be done medically to find out the status of your baby, etc. So my partner and I went to see the genetic counsellor. We spoke to her a little by phone, and then we had an appointment with her in person. My partner and I went together. We discussed the different types of sickle cell disease, our sickle cell status. They took blood from my partner just to double check that he really does have sickle cell trait. From my side, I'd been tested in the UK. He had been tested in Nigeria. Not anything disparaging about anybody else's healthcare service, but they just wanted to double check that he really did have sickle cell trait, so that we knew this before we started going down this whole road, you know. There are two options that were available to us at the time. That was amniocentesis and CVS, which is chorionic villus sampling. So both of these tests can be done at the NHS, but there's a particular time frame to when you can do these. The earliest one that we could do was chorionic villus sampling, and we wanted to get the baby tested as soon as possible so that we could kind of discuss how we were going to move forward. So the earliest that we could do chorionic villus sampling was at 11 weeks. I found out that I was pregnant around week 4, so that was okay. We had time. However, the only day that was available to do the procedure was my birthday. So last year I didn't really have a large birthday celebration because we went to the hospital to have the CVS procedure done. A needle is inserted into your abdomen and a few cells are taken from your placenta. Those cells are used to test the genotype of your baby. It was very unpleasant, but it was over quickly, which I was thankful for. Before we went to the procedure, I just prayed to God. I don't want to have to do it more than one time, because I believe in praying specifically. I just said, God, I would just like it to be done one time and finished. I would like them to go in, take the cells that they need to take very smoothly and take them out, and it be done. And thank God that's exactly what happened. Of course, the needle, no joke, the needle was like this big. I could see it like from the corner of my eye. I didn't stare at it, but I saw it from the corner of my eye. And to be honest, mentally I was prepared for it because I knew it was going to be a big needle. They have to do an ultrasound on you while they are actually doing the procedure, because of course they do not want to put the needle into the wrong place. They want to make sure that they're avoiding the baby, that they're avoiding the amniotic sac, putting the needle into the placenta only and being done with it. Yeah, it was a lot. I just lay down on the bed. They helped me to prepare. They just said, you know, relax, we're not going to start right now. But in the room there was a consultant, a registrar, and the registrar is the one that actually did the procedure on me. There was a midwife and there was a student doctor in the room. And they asked me if it was okay for those people to be there. I was completely fine with that. I didn't mind. They got everything together. First of all, they did like some local anesthetic to the area, but obviously they can't put anesthetic inside your belly and then like try to numb the whole area because there's a baby in there. So all that they can do is put some local anesthetic to the actual skin around the area, So you don't necessarily feel the needle going into your belly, but when they get inside, you're gonna feel it. There's no way of getting around that. You're going to feel the needle going in. And I can see, like, I can look to the left, I can see on the ultrasound, like, the needle going into my abdomen. And if you can imagine, it's very stressful because, number one, it does hurt. It's not absolutely excruciating pain, but it's a very, very unpleasant feeling. You feel just like the bottom of your belly is being poked, and it feels very, like, weird. Excuse the sirens. My partner was there literally holding my hand through the whole procedure. Like, he was so supportive, and I was just so thankful to have him there next to me. Before the procedure started, I took a massive deep breath. The registrar said to me, okay, having a deep breath is fantastic, but please, during the procedure, don't do any deep breaths like that. Just breathe normally as best you can. So they started. I saw when the needle went in. I could see on the ultrasound. I was feeling the pain, but I was holding still. But obviously, because I'm feeling pain, the baby inside of me is reacting to the pain that I'm feeling. So you can see on the screen, like, the baby started moving and stuff. The baby was not directly in pain, that's not what I'm saying, but the baby was reacting off of my pain, and the baby started moving quite a lot, and you can see on screen, I was like, oh my god, my child. But then I just sat there like, okay, cool, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. They're not hurting my baby's fine. The needle's going where it's supposed to go. I saw when it went into the placenta, like, I literally felt it. I saw when they extracted the cells. I saw when they took it out. And once they took it out, like, I could breathe a massive sigh of relief. And then they actually showed me, like, these are the cells that we took from your placenta. We're going to take them and test them, and then we'll let you know in a couple of weeks.
Ready?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Aww.
Happy birthday to
Oh,
you.
look at this.
Happy birthday. That was birdie. Happy birthday.
So in a couple of weeks, I got a phone call from a midwife, not at my hospital that I was having antenatal care at, but an affiliated hospital, which is where they do all of the test results. I had a voice note which wasn't very clear from a midwife, talking about the fact that my results would be delayed, but it was a bit weird because I couldn't clearly figure out what was being said. The audio wasn't good, so I had to phone up the hospital to speak to them. But essentially they said to me, we're sorry, but your results are going to be a bit delayed. We don't have enough cells from your placenta to test the baby's genotype properly, but what we're going to do is grow the cells in the lab and see if we can get an accurate testing from those cells grown, and then we'll go from there. That was very scary. It was also stressful. It didn't help because I was in the middle of a wedding. It was my friend's wedding day and I was a bridesmaid, so I'm trying to, like, keep calm, not burst into tears, not stress out, standing on the phone in the courtyard for ages. I'm just trying to figure out, why have they called me to tell me that it's going to be longer if you can't make a clear voicemail? And yeah, I was just annoyed, frustrated, scared, all of those feelings. But anyway, I managed to hold it together. Finally though, the results came back. So I just got a phone call from the hospital, from the genetic counsellor, and she said that the baby is going to be just a carrier, an AS baby, and baby doesn't have sickle cell disease. And I'm just very happy and grateful. Like, I know being a carrier has its own drawbacks and stuff, but I was just really afraid of having a child with a condition, because, you know, like, you don't ever want to see your baby in pain, you know. You don't want to see your child in pain, and it was just so scary, but I'm really grateful. I'm really, really grateful. So baby Zach is a sickle cell carrier. He does not have sickle cell disease. For my partner and I, this was an absolutely massive relief. I understand that like having the first trimester is already a bit stressful because, you know, like some people don't like to tell people that they're pregnant because, you know, they just want to like keep it quiet until that 3-month period has passed. In our case, there was that, and then there was also the fact that we didn't quite know whether our child was going to have sickle cell disease or not, and we just wanted to wait until we had those test results before we kind of were going to start telling people and stuff. It was very, very stressful, very, very scary. I felt like for the first 3 months of my pregnancy I was kind of sort of holding my breath. I only told one person that I was pregnant. We kept it very hush-hush between myself and my partner. My friend was so supportive, and I appreciate her so much for being somebody that I could confide in. You know who you are, thank you. Thank God our baby is now born. He's very, very healthy. Yes, just as I was saying, I just called your name, Bobby. Our little person has joined me. Hi. As I was saying, he is a beautiful, healthy baby, and like throughout this whole like relationship, getting pregnant, having a baby, this has made me so much more grateful. I'm grateful to my partner for just being the most loving, caring, supportive man, and being a wonderful partner and a wonderful father. I thank God every day that I see my baby that he's healthy, because I know what could have happened. And even though 75-25 is not a massive risk, it's still a risk nevertheless, and I don't take it for granted that my baby is healthy, that he's just growing and brings us so much joy every day. So that's basically the end of the story. I have so much more pregnancy content to bring you and to give you, but for the time being, that was my story time. I'm really, really glad and happy that I took a step back, I breathed deeply, and I decided to try and give love a chance. Even though we did want to go down the IVF route, clearly God had other plans, because just as we were discussing pregnancy, our little person here decided to pop up. If you enjoyed this video, then hit the red subscribe button below. You can also hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video. Subscribe definitely for more pregnancy and motherhood content, as well as natural hair and lifestyle. And I'll catch you again in a video soon. Take care. Bye. And yes, he's practicing standing now. Imagine my baby. You have become Mr. I am standing.